strange twist in the criminal trial of Judge Tracy Hunter tonight. She asked that the judge hearing the case recuse himself. 9 on Your Side's Tom McKee is live with the impact on the case. Tom?
Well, out of the blue, Judge Hunter filed this 3-page motion basically this afternoon with the clerk of courts. Whether it's part of her overall defense strategy isn't known, but it's clear she wants Judge Norbert Nadel off the bench in this case. She claims he's biased and shouldn't be presiding over a trial where other judges are going to be called as witnesses.
Decision to recuse herself from the sentencing of former Am County prosecutor Stuart Dunnings. We were in the courtroom for today's hearing. Judge Rosemarie Aquilina wanted to avoid the appearance of impropriety, but did not seem happy about having to give up the case.
I have always felt, which is why I retained this case, one of the reasons, that each county should handle their own problems. That's why we have jurisdictions.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the channel. If you're your first time joiner, return, thank you for coming back. Before we jump off to this content, make sure to like, subscribe, and watch this video all the way to the end. Help the algorithm. I can't even get it out. It helps the algorithm and helps this channel grow. So we got some action. So this judge, right, that's presiding over this case, decide to step back or recuse themselves from the case. A lot of times when judges do that, they have some type of self-interest or conflict of interest within the case. There's something going on back behind the scenes that's not on record as of yet, that's not being brought to light. And this judge decided to do it himself. A lot of times the defense, if it's a criminal case, or the plaintiff will, or one of the parties within the case will ask the judge to step down because they see that they're being biased or something like that. This is kind of new territory, and once again, I am not an attorney, but you know, this is the stars are aligning with this case. It's a lot of moving parts going on. There's a lot of corruption and conspiracies and stuff like that. For those of you who don't believe in it, I'm showing you guys. And those of you who've been rocking with this channel for a while, you've been seeing all the inconsistencies and all the craziness. And you know, people say that I'm crazy. I know there's a lot of people on here that's like, this guy's off the chain, or whatever the case may be. You don't know what's going on in the background. And when things like this happen, I get excited because it's showing what's the word I'm looking for? It's showing the truth. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump off into this content, and I'll explain as I go. All right, let's go.
When can a judge recuse themselves from a case? Imagine you are in a courtroom and the atmosphere is tense. The stakes are high, and every decision made can have significant consequences. But what happens when the person making those decisions, the judge, has a conflict of interest? This is where the concept of recusal comes into play. Judges are expected to be impartial and fair. However, there are circumstances that may lead a judge to step aside from a case. One primary reason for recusal is a personal bias or prejudice concerning a party involved in the case. If a judge has a preconceived opinion about a party, it could influence their judgment, making it essential for them to recuse themselves to maintain the integrity of the judicial process. Another common reason for recusal is a financial interest in the outcome of the case. If a judge stands to gain or lose financially based on the verdict, it creates a clear conflict of interest. In such situations, it is crucial for the judge to withdraw from the case to uphold the principles of justice and fairness. Additionally, familial relationships can also necessitate recusal. If a judge is related to one of the parties involved, or if they have a close personal relationship with someone connected to the case, it can compromise their ability to remain impartial. The appearance of bias is just as important as actual bias in the eyes of the law, and judges must be vigilant in avoiding any situations that could be perceived as favoritism.
So before we go any further, if you ever see this arrow pop up on the screen, this way. Yeah, if you ever see this arrow pop up on the screen, that means go to the description box below and go check out the videos down there, because it's probably related to the topic that's at hand. So let's talk about this judge real quick. I want to say this, that as of right now, I have nothing against this judge. You know what I mean? My personal opinion of anybody within the judicial system is gonna be biased, because I've been through the system and it left a bad taste in my mouth, and I just don't like it. You know what I'm saying? But in particular situations, you have to swallow your pride and just, you know, go for what you know. So, you know, I'm not trying to make this out to be bashing this woman at all, by no means, because she's presiding over all these cases. I'm talking about the case with the city of Lovejoy. All right,
Let me ask you something.
What's up,
Mr. Campbell? When I explained to you what was going on, you still wanted to argue with me. I don't understand that.
No.
I tried to explain it to you very clear.
Okay.
And for some reason, you thought I was attacking you or whatever.
All right.
I mean, can you explain it to me? I'm trying to understand is what I'm trying to do.
Okay. There's really nothing to explain. Am I free to leave?
No, you're not.
Okay.
You're not. Go ahead. Yeah. I tell you what. Let's get Henry County to meet us up here. I'll go ahead and let them charge me.
Right. The case with the city of Hampton.
I'm not playing with you, bro. Get off the bike. Get off the bike.
The case with the city of Henry County. And the case with the of Georgia, state of Georgia, the one she just stepped down from. That's all 4 cases. But actually, in all actuality, 3 of those cases, the plaintiff filed a motion to consolidate them to make it as one. So if she stepped down from that one, 9 times out of 10, she got to step down from all of them if she has any type of personal interest within the case. We're going to get into details of, you know, a little bit about the stuff that happened and crap like that. But let's look at this video real quick. Y'all all know the YSL gang Rico craziness. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to use that as an example. And like a lot of the times, most of the time, the defense attorney or, you know, the plaintiff or whoever, one of the parties, they file a motion to ask the judge to step down because they feel like they're being biased or there's a conflict of interest that's going on. It's very rare. I'm saying it's not super rare, but it's rare that judges make a conscious decision to just back away from the case. You know what I mean? Because they're probably like, this plaintiff is not college educated, has no law education, but they're making some points and putting some things out on paper and getting it on record. And if it goes to the Court of Appeals, it's not going to look good for the judge. You see what I'm saying? So I just want to kind of make that clear. You know what I mean? So let's check this clip out, and that way you have a little bit better understanding of this.
I'm kind of disturbed because that's ex parte. All that was an ex parte conversation. How did you find out about any of that?
Well, I'm disturbed too. And the reason is,
I'm asking you a question.
And
how did you find out about it?
I'm going to answer you the question.
Okay.
Our highest court says when a court meets, because Mr. Copeland comes in, meets with the court supposedly made statements, which I assume is somewhat accurate based upon what you just said. We're entitled, Mr. Williams and every other person wrongly charged here is entitled under the Georgia Constitution to be present. That's a critical stage.
It's just like when you meet with me and you and Mr. Adams meet with me and others have met with me. It's those were ex parte for a lot of different other reasons, but I will certainly note that for purposes of record.
Well, I'm going forward. What I was told was that Mr. Copeland said.
And you haven't answered my question yet.
I'm not going to answer that question.
You're not?
No, I will not answer that question.
Why will you not answer that question?
Because I want to make sure that what I say is accurate. And I'm not trying to get anybody else.
I'm asking you, how did you get this information?
I'm not telling the court. What I'm saying is based upon information.
Okay, well, listen, if you don't tell me how you got this information, then you and I are going to have some problems.
We can have this. I have problems right now.
Okay, I know. Look, I don't want to know about your problems. Okay, at this point in time, all I'm asking you at this point in time is, how did you come upon this information? Look, if the case gets reviewed, the record's going to be available for our appellate court and for whatever reason.
Pause, right? Okay, so that judge he's scared of that appellate court, because if the case gets reviewed, that's what them judges be scared of. If the case gets reviewed and it sees that the judge did some illegal stuff, you know, they can get kicked off the bench and some more stuff, and probably criminal charges depending upon the severity of it. So that's why he was like, he was I want to say he was shook. I don't know, but from what I see, and the defense attorney, he did his thing. That is a good attorney. That's how all attorneys should be. They should go for the jugular. They should go for the throat. They should just go in there and just and have all the problems. I want all the smoke. You know what I'm saying? Because he's fighting for his, you know. And that's the thing. That's a real attorney. You see what I'm saying? I mean, there's a lot of money. He paid him a lot of money, though. That's another thing, too. Money's motivation. And the thing is, see, that attorney, let me make this clear. That attorney was smart. Not only are you representing a rapper who got money, he's going to get paid from this case, but by doing that man justice and fighting for him like he did, every rapper, anybody that got money that finds themselves in a situation, they gonna go straight to him. Plus, it was publicized. He doesn't even have to advertise. I just had to say that he didn't have to advertise. It was just that's what. But anyway, back to the appellate court. I had to use this as an example, but he was worried about that appellate court. He's like, when this case gets reviewed, right? And some things. Now let's go back to the topic at hand. Some things were put on record that the judge seen, and the judge, I think. Now I'm assuming now. I think that either this judge. I have to do research on it. I haven't done the research on it. I haven't dug into it. Either used to work in the district attorney's office or solicitor's office, or has some type of relations with these people, or something. And if that comes to light, she's gonna be biased. She's gonna be on their side in a sense. And the things that took place in the show of cause hearing. See, just like that open records request that was made. And that shows a waiver of sovereign immunity for state, city, county, whatever. You have to get that insurance policy to be able to prove to the court that their sovereign immunity can be waived. And there's other stipulations to it too, but that is like the main piece of the puzzle. And if you can't get that, then the case will be dismissed. You don't have any ground to stand on. But anyway, let's finish watching this.
But it's disturbing that how somehow you have surreptitiously gotten information in regards to the court's private ex parte conversation with a party. I mean,
a witness who was sworn in Friday. The court's telling, this is what I was told. If this is not true, not true. This court handed Mr. Copeland.
Tell me how you got the information.
Listen, whatever you want to do.
Tell me how you got the information, then we can go ahead and go forward.
I'm not going to say that. What I'm going to say is this. I was told, and I hope this concerns the court.
It concerns me that you have proprietary information.
Why is it
or
proprietary?
Information that you should not be having that was ex parte.
Why?
With a party.
Why?
State of Georgia.
How about the witness? How about Mr. Copeland, who supposedly announced he's not testifying and he'll sit for 2 years, and then supposedly this honorable court, or excuse me, let me rephrase that. This court supposedly said, I can hold you until the end of this trial. Ms. Hilton supposedly said, actually, all of the defendants and then all 26 people are disposed of. If that's true, what this is coercion, witness intimidation, ex parte communications that we have a constitutional right to be present for. So I understand that you're upset towards me, but I don't know what I did.
Mr. Steele, I still want to know, how did you come upon this information? Who told you?
What I want to know is, why wasn't I there? Why,
sir? I'm going to hold you in contempt if you don't tell me who that. Tell me who this information was coming from.
I don't want to be held in contempt.
Well,
I'm not answering that question. That's attorney-client privilege information. I am not answering
attorney-client privilege. Unless you were in my chambers, that's the only way you can figure out.
I am telling you.
I tell you what, I'm going to give you 5 minutes. If you don't tell me who it is, I'm going to put you in. I'm going to put you in contempt because that is not attorney-client privilege.
Attorney work product privilege. I am not.
How did you get that information supposedly from my chambers? Did somebody tell you?
I'm not. You should have told me.
You got 5 minutes.
Well, I don't need it. I want to continue.
You got 5 minutes?
This is what I was told. Mr. Copeland made statements that he admitted to killing Donovan Thomas and was. Don't take my notes. No.
He pissed that judge off. Judge, I like that attorney Steele or whatever. Boy, not that I'm getting in any trouble, but I would definitely recommend him to anybody because he's doing his thing. And this is what I'm talking about, the ex parte. So ex parte is pretty much like a meeting that the court has with both sides, right? Because the judge is nothing but a referee. They're supposed to make sure that both sides play fair. That is it. That is their job. And they've been in law for many years, right? So let's get back to this topic, right? There's so much I want to tell you guys, but for legal reasons and just I try my best not to get emotional and cry and curse and just invent on here, because you can't do that on the internet. You know what I'm saying? It won't be a good thing. But so think about it. Put yourself in a situation. You have been done wrong multiple times by multiple different agencies, multiple different city, county, state, and whatever, for stupid stuff, for little petty things that they made it out a big deal. And the thing is, it started a snowball or a domino effect where it went from something that could have just been easily avoided had they just did their job the right way and respected the plaintiff's rights. But instead, they're so used to running into people that don't know the law and their ignorance and stuff like that, that they trample all over their rights. And if you don't, that's the thing, man. I want to stress to you guys so much. You have to educate yourself. Whenever you have any type of encounter with law enforcement or anything, any type of these people that's in power, bro, you have to know how to handle yourself. You don't just take people's word for it. Don't take these attorneys' word for it. Do your own due diligence and research. I'm telling you, I know this from experience. I'm not just talking out the side of my neck, bro. I'm telling you, this is what I'm saying. I'm sorry, the stress started kicking in and the implications of all this craziness. I started getting distracted. Let's look at the paperwork, and that way you have a better understanding of what's going on. Let's go. And just the case number right here, if you want to go look it up, go right on the Peach Court and create an account and punch that number right there to bring you right to this case. So this is against the state of Georgia, Henry County Solicitor's Office, Department of Administrative Services, Claudia Creel, and yeah. So let's look at the, let me see, it was filed back in 2025 in July, right? There hasn't really been much action in this case because this case was set to the side, but this is the motion to consolidate, because if you file different or you have multiple lawsuits and they happen in accordance with the same transaction or the same occurrence, then you can consolidate all the cases and make them one. So that's what I was talking about with the motion to consolidate. And as of right now, this is 2026. In March, it took close to a year. No, that's about 9 months, I believe. I don't know, I'm just shooting. And yeah, then she decided to come up off that case. I don't know why. I have a strong indication, but I went, oh no, I didn't think I know why. I went and looked because I was just I said, let me look it up. So I went and seen that she used to be a district attorney. Yeah, she began there as an assistant district attorney in 2020. So she's worked for the solicitor's office before, and well, you know, district attorney and solicitor, kind of the same thing. And then where is it at? I just seen it. It's in full. Oh yeah, and she was a former deputy assistant solicitor general. So, you know, she's worked in a solicitor. She's been pretty much a prosecutor before she became a judge. Did some more research into her. She does a lot of things for the community and things like that, but I believe this is the reason why she stepped down. One of the main things, because granted, you know, it's against the solicitor's office, and she used to be a solicitor, so that would kind of make her biased in a sense. But let's look at looking at this. It skipped over, so I know y'all seen that money right there. So this is the case that was originally filed, right? Original complaint, and scroll down to the money. So these are damages that the plaintiff is seeking. And let's go back to and check these other cases. At the top of each case, it's going to say the judge is assigned. So CL, that's Honorable Chandra Lewis, right? Chandra Lewis. And this is for the city of Lovejoy. Let's look at this other case. This is for Henry County. She has that case too. This is for the city of Hampton. She has that case too. So that's what I was talking about. She has all these cases, but 3 out of those 4 cases all are to be consolidated. Matter of fact, let's look and see. There should be a motion in here to consolidate somewhere in here. Up, there it goes. Motion to consolidate. All of those cases had motion to consolidate because it all arose out of the same occurrence. Okay, this is something else I wanted to point out. All right, so this case with Henry County, it got dismissed, right? Which So this was the final order to dismiss this case. This is the thing that I don't like that she did. She dismissed the case with prejudice. With prejudice means that you can't come back and file a case based on the same detail that the original complaint was made off of. If it has anything to do with what's in the original complaint, you cannot refile it. But this case can be appealed based on newly discovered evidence, and the case can be brought back based on their open records request where they deny the plaintiff the insurance policy. So that's why that's important. So you can file a motion for reconsideration based on that. Then emergency amended complaint. One of the main issues with the case being dismissed, with the case being dismissed, was the sheriff wasn't named as a defendant initially. It was Henry County Sheriff's Office, which can't be sued. Not the office itself. You have to sue it through the sheriff. You have to sue the sheriff. Like if it's the jail or the sheriff's office, you have to list the sheriff as the defendant, in order for that to work. So let's scroll on back down to here. So all these emergency motions got put in. Emergency motion pretty much needs to be reviewed right away. So emergency motion to amend, and another thing too is when they dismiss the case based on like a misnomer, or misnomer means misnaming a defendant, you can amend your complaint and add that defendant. Now what she did was made it without prejudice, so you can't come back and refile on it, right? So file an emergency amended complaint to add the sheriff as a defendant, right? Amended the complaint a couple times, and then emergency motion to leave set aside judgment, pretty much to change the order and pretty much redact or pull back that final order to dismiss. Then an extension of time because you can appeal that decision, and you can also renew the case. Like if you got newly discovered evidence, you can reopen the case based on newly discovered evidence. I'm not going to get into all that detail, but this is one thing that I didn't like, was that that final order to dismiss. But then let's go back to this other case, the one that she pulled herself back from. This case was filed last year, right, back in July. Now it took almost a year for her to pull herself back from this case. Why did it take so long, right? Why? Well, that's the big question. Recluse herself from the case. The undersigned hereby recluses herself from the above style matter in accordance with Georgia Uniform Superior Court Rule 25.7. Really recently, like really recently. And let's look that up. So if a judge, either on motion of one of the parties or the judge's own motion, voluntarily disqualifies or another judge selected by a procedure set forth in Rule 25.4 above, shall be assigned to hear the matter involved, a voluntary recusal shall not be construed as either a admission or denial of any allegations which have been set out in the motion. So that's pretty much what it is, and that's real. All right, so let's consolidate this. Let's just bring us all to one, right? So initially, case started in the city of Hampton with a legal stop by an officer, right? Didn't have no probable cause, no reasonable suspicion, blah blah blah, all this crap, right? Not only did they violate their rights for making an arrest based on tickets, which are non-arrestable offenses, whatever the case may be. Case got beat. The plaintiff, or was the defendant, now the plaintiff, took it to trial, beat it. So that's the reason to come back and sue for false arrest, false imprisonment, a whole bunch of list of other things, right? Now, that case started in the city of Hampton, was a municipal, which is just tickets. But the defendant got the case bound over to state court. Once it got to state court is supposed to dismiss it because there wasn't enough probable cause to proceed further with the case. There wasn't even enough evidence, right? But because the state That's the Henry County Solicitor's office. The solicitor had the case, and pretty much everybody in that office, because a lot of people got to look over that case and decide whether they should proceed or not. And some of the cases got dropped. Some of the allegations got dropped because there wasn't enough evidence to proceed further. Right. So boom. So that's the city of Hampton, and that's the state of Georgia. Now, Henry County, while the plaintiff was in custody, they did some wild stuff back there. You know what I'm saying? Held a person past 48 hours without seeing the judge, because after 48 or within 48 hours, supposed to see a judge, and to be not to be arraigned, but to be given your charges and stuff like that. It never happened. Right. Not only that, in the city of Hampton and in the state of Georgia, in both of those courts, in the municipal court and in the state court, never had a probable cause hearing, due process violations. So that all those cases are beat. The city of Hampton, Henry County, and the state of Georgia, all three of those cases, and all three of those cases are out of the same transaction. So those cases can be consolidated and taken to trial all at once. Right? Boom. So let's set that to the side. Right? And now, mind you, that's just the same judge has all of those cases. I'm just saying, right? So all that's sitting. Let's put a pin in it. How they say, right? That's sitting to the side. Now, months after, the defendant, which now the plaintiff, went through all this stuff and learned a whole bunch of stuff about all kind of bicycle laws and all type of rights and due process, and just got super educated and got a primer in how corrupt the system is, right? Ran into the chief of police from the city of Lovejoy. He didn't know what he was walking into. He just walked away.
You talked yourself into this one. All I was trying to do is keep him getting run over.
Okay. Boy, and ran right into this after the defendant just beat a case for getting stopped on the bike and almost shot. That cop was ready to blow, bro.
I'm not playing with you, bro. Get off the bike. Get off the bike.
PTSD. Bro. I don't know. I pray that you've never been through it, but when somebody points something that could kill you at you, it's not fun at all. There's no type of, and every situation is different, but when it's a cop and they can kill you and then claim that with that sovereign immunity crap, you know, when it's a regular citizen to kill you, at least you get some justice from that. They go to jail, whatever, you know what I'm saying, and you know they go to jail. That's actually about it. That's about the only justice you can get. They go to jail for killing you for whatever reason, right? Because you can't just go around doing that. But when it's a cop, it's different. They can murk you and still have a job. Sometimes get promotions. Just gonna leave a pin in that. So, with all that said, right? And if you've been following the channel, you've seen this case, these cases, go through a whole bunch of crap. And in the city of Lovejoy, remember, that case went to federal court and came back to state court. And it's not even supposed to be in Henry County. Players messed up with following it there. It's supposed to be in Clayton County. But the new chief is accepting a summons that he's not, bro. It's just so much. It's just like, listen, let me tell you something. I'm showing you this stuff, right? Because if something should happen, and it's so crazy that this should be in the news. It should be in the news. You know what I'm saying? But nobody's doing it. It's up to you guys. Right? Listen. Went to the GBI. Went to the CIA. Went to the newspaper. Went to all these. I'm not even gonna put them on blast. I should though. All these big associations. They handle corruption and all this crap. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them be in on it. I didn't know how deep this stuff run, bro. You know what I'm saying? And they're all wrong. They're all dead wrong. But because it's only one person by themselves fighting these people, and they done smeared and drugged the person's name through the mud. I have to, you guys use your common sense, you know what I'm saying, for legal reasons. I have to phrase it like that. Had the whole community, literally, no exaggeration whatsoever, turned against one person. Family and everything. Everybody's in on it, bro. No exaggerations. There's so much I want to put out here, bro. There's so much, but it would just not be good. You know what I'm saying? Imagine, bro. Imagine if you have evidence of officers editing body camera footage and you took it to the GBI and they said we can't take it. You gotta be a cop to bring us something. So you mean to tell me if I got a cop over here selling drugs and doing illegal stuff and all type of crap and just violating their oath and stuff, no, you gotta be a cop to do that. Really? So okay, so if something happens, if that cop tries to hurt me and I hurt him instead, then what? Can I claim self-defense? Like, let's say you come into my home and just try to hurt me, or not even that, come to my home, just catch me in the street and try to do some underhand stuff, make a traffic stop and then just draw down on me or something like that for no reason, just, you know, and they could just throw something in the car, I'm be dead. And just throw something. He had something on him. He pointed. I was afraid for my life. You know, that's they stay using that. I was afraid for my life. I can't say I can't breathe. They gonna air me out. It's not funny. I'm sorry. That was not even supposed to be funny at all. But this is the reality of it. So, with that said, man, this shit's getting real interesting. I'll tell you that much. But I ain't got no tab out. I promise you that. And I ain't going back. I done made that up in my mind already. You could take it. Yeah, nah. No, sir. No, not going back.
I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world, there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful, but we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate, has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent and all will be lost. The aeroplane and the radio have brought us closer together. The very nature of these inventions cries out for the goodness in men, cries out for universal brotherhood, for the unity of us all. Even now, my voice is reaching millions throughout the world, millions of despairing men, women, and little children, victims of a system that makes men torture and imprison innocent people. To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. The hate of men will pass and dictators die, and the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish. You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate, only the unloved hate, the unloved and the unnatural. Soldiers, don't fight for slavery, fight for liberty. In the 17th chapter of St. Luke it is written, the kingdom of God is within man, not one man nor a group of men, but in all men, in you. You, the people, have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world, a decent world, that will give men a chance to work, that will give youth a future and old age a security. By the promise of these things, brutes have risen to power, but they lie. They do not fulfill that promise. They never will. Dictators free themselves, but they enslave the people. Now let us fight to fulfill that promise. Let us fight to free the world, to do away with national barriers, to do away with greed, with hate and intolerance. Let us fight for a world of reason, a world where science and progress will lead to all men's happiness. Soldiers, in the name of democracy, let us all unite!